The Mets are in first place. Did you realize that?
So we're not doing that.
Did you know that?
Are we doing that whole first place thing all season long?
Are they in first place?
Fine. Congratulations, 5 in a row. More
Thank you.
importantly right now.
Thank you.
So listen, a lot of ways to attack what's taking place since we left the air on Friday. Let's start with the New York Mets.
First place
Let's start
New
with
York
the
Mets.
fact the first place New York Mets
Thank you.
have won 5 in a row.
Correct.
And it all started with the fight between Lindor and McNeil. Let's just call it the way it is. That will be looked upon.
Yes.
Or at least the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens after that. As a turning point in the New York Mets season early on.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
And especially a turning point for Francisco Lindor himself.
Yeah, who winds up hitting the 2-run home run.
Minutes later.
Yeah. So a few things on the rat and raccoon. Number one, I loved it. I thought it was genius.
Look at you.
I thought it was great in the moment to come up with some type of answer for the media. What fascinated me is that I don't think the fan base was upset about it at all. It seemed to me like the media that covers the New York Mets got all whiny and bitchy about it. How dare you not tell us what happened? We want to know what happened. I thought the made-up story of the rat versus raccoon argument was genius. I loved it.
You surprise me sometimes.
And I don't care if you tell me the truth or not. Like, I'm used to being lied to. But the media is so sensitive, like, wah, we want to know what happened. I thought the fan base embraced it.
Dude,
that's how I saw it.
Sometimes, man, you and we actually think alike. And
Yeah.
I need to apologize to you because I assumed you were going to take what happened Friday night and what happened the next few days with the Mets kind of having fun with the rat and raccoon. And I thought you were going to use that to deflect away from the Mets' great weekend.
Not at all.
And sometimes you surprise me, and I actually completely agree with you because here's a news flash for everybody, whether it's non-Met fans or people in the media. Here's what we care about. We care about winning.
Period, stop.
That's it.
Yep.
So Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil had a fight. Maybe it was a bad fight. Maybe they punched each other. I don't know.
think it was a good fight.
Well, the result is good, but I mean it may have been a bad fight in
clearly,
terms of they may have punched each other.
I don't think any punches were thrown. Neither guy had a mark on their face, blah, blah, blah. I think it got very heated. Obviously, guys run in to make sure it doesn't become bigger than that.
Right.
And listen, those are two guys that give a rat's ass.
Oh, absolutely. They're two of the most intense guys on the team.
Now, Lindor's not hitting the ball. We all know that. So I'm sure a lot of it for him was boiling over his own. He's pissed off at himself. Ground ball, you all saw the play.
Right.
He's pissed because McNeil cuts him off. McNeil's pissed because he said whatever it is.
Right.
But it's stuff like that. Like, have we gotten to a point, I know society has, but I don't think fandom has, where two grown men who are competitors for their livelihood aren't allowed to get in a fight?
No, especially when
What are we
5
doing?
minutes later, and this is what's so beautiful about this story, 5 minutes later, Francisco Lindor had clearly his biggest moment as a Met.
Oh, by far.
Even more than the game-winning hit in Colorado.
Two-run shot.
Because even though he had a double earlier in the game, the fans are still on edge with this guy. We still don't trust this guy. This guy is still not kind of proven himself yet to the New York crowd. And on a Friday night against the Diamondbacks, Francisco Lindor, 8 minutes after him and Jeff McNeil get into a fight, hits a game-tying 2-run home run.
Yeah.
And so if Jeff McNeil needs to fight with Francisco Lindor every other day, great. Let him fight.
Yeah.
Let him fight. And remember this, because I think this is a part of the story too, Craig. 1 week earlier, the biggest critique you and I and a lot of Met fans had about the team was that they didn't fight. They didn't fight the Philadelphia Phillies. Sometimes fighting amongst yourselves may actually be better than getting into a fight with a relief pitcher for the Phillies.
I think it's a great way to express emotion. It's liberating. And as long as there's respect afterwards, listen, you get in the biggest fight with your family, your brother, if you grew up with a brother, that kind of thing. And afterwards, you figure it out. So there is a Met thing we'll get to that I find laughable.
Oh, I knew it was coming.
But the rat-raccoon thing, I think is effing fantastic.
And you don't have a problem.
I love it.
You don't have a problem with the fact I went there Saturday and Sunday, and not as much yesterday, but certainly on Saturday. The Mets organization really leaned into the joke.
Well,
They put pictures of rats, pictures of raccoons. They even had an interactive game with the fans called Rat or Raccoon.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I thought of all of it, the one thing I didn't like was Zach Scott, the GM.
Stick up your rear end, Zach Scott.
Yeah, when Zach Scott came out and was asked about it, essentially said, I would have handled it differently. Yes, they got in a fight, whatever it was. I didn't like their explanation. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, whether you liked it or not, Lindor took a shot. Whether it's his idea or not, I don't know. A lot of people think it was maybe Alonso's idea. Whatever it was, it had legs and was great. I loved it.
And it distracted from a lot of other things. Like that, in a weird way, over the weekend, a very successful weekend for the Mets, despite the new concerns with Jake. It became the story of the weekend. But I think what Zach Scott and Luis Rojas are doing, whether you like it or not, and clearly you don't, is they're trying to play the role of boring adult.
Yeah,
That's the role they're playing. Rojas has done it, and Zach's doing it.
You have to allow for some personality. At the end of the day, neither guy got hurt. I don't think punches were thrown because that would have been a different story, I think. And the Mets won, and they kept winning. They've now won 5 games in a row. There's now a bit of a personality to this team. Like we talk about the Yankees all the time. Where's the edge? Where's the personality? Let's not just be boring. Right, the New York Mets, because their offense stunk for so long, frankly, was boring. But now there's a little edge to the New York Mets. There's a personality to the Mets. And listen, I didn't like the Donnie Diesel stuff because the guy got fired. Whether it was a direct result or not, the timing sucked on him because Chili Davis and Slater got fired, right? But this thing, I would have let this thing go. If I was Zach Scott, I would not have gotten in the way of it, and I would have perpetuated it. I would have embraced it because whatever the two guys did to figure out their crap, they did it.
And it worked.
Embrace it.
And it worked
See,
because...
to me, they killed the raccoon thing. It's dead now.
No, they didn't necessarily.
I think the Diesel's more alive than the raccoon.
Here's where you're wrong. You know who makes things last? You know who can really run with things? The fans.
Yeah,
not Zach Scott, not Luis Rojas. So if Met fans are going to start to embrace like a fake funny debate between, I think it was a rat, I'm team rat.
But they came out and they ruined it by saying that we acknowledge they made it up.
They didn't ruin it.
I think
you
they
think
did.
Met fans care about what Zach Scott says in a Zoom call?
I think the adult in the room ruined it. I did.
Well,
I think I thought it would have had great legs, Evan, and we would have had a raccoon thing for a month. I think it's kind of dead now.
I don't agree, only because I think fans can make anything out of something. And if fans are going to embrace this, especially because it's leading towards winning, because that's the end result that we all care about. We care about the fact the Mets are winning. They're a hot team. They've won 5 in a row. They've overcome things clearly over the last few days, whether it's an injury to the ace or whether it's a fight between 2 key players on this team. So, yeah, even though Luis Rojas, and by the way, Rojas did the exact same thing with Diesel Donnie, where he's like, I don't know anything about it.
Right.
And Zach Scott,
that dude can't have fun if he tried.
Right. Because he's trying, and I don't know if it's on purpose, if he's trying to play the role of, I have no personality on the manager.
I spent a lot of time this weekend processing it. He's so insecure in his standing here that he's not allowing himself to enjoy it.
Do you think that's it?
Yeah. I think he's worried about his job security, or at least was.
Right.
Prior to this 5-game win streak. And rightfully so, because they don't respect him.
But it also may be in his personality that he doesn't have one. That Zach Scott and Luis Rojas are just boring guys.
Yeah, kind of like Big Mac. Like, good guy, but he's not yet come out of his shell. Did you bring the weights in today?
So you insult me and then ask if I bought you a gift.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to go back over here, be my boring self weightless.
Did you bring the weights in or not?
Maybe, we'll see.
He brought the weights in.
That's my Did you bring the weights in? You actually did?
Yeah, because he drove in today.
He didn't
take the train.
Oh, man.
It's not going to be for a long time before I drive in again. I got to,
I
did offer them, Ev. I did offer them.
He did offer the weights. I get the weights.
I do. I can't find the 35s or the 10, so it's just the 245
You'll
plates.
find them eventually.
I will. I'll find them eventually.
Well, this changes everything because I actually have a very nice gift I bought you, and I'm not sure I want to give it to you now.
I'll take it.
I don't know
Today's
if you deserve.
a good day.
I don't know if you deserve 2 gifts in one day.
Here is the bad thing for the New York Mets.
What's that?
And I'm glad so many of you thought of our show when it happened. I don't like the fact that so many of you hate me because of it. or try to point out that I don't know the difference between my right side and my left side.
God, yes.
So on Friday, we had the video of Jacob deGrom leaping in the air, trying to catch a line drive above his head at shortstop.
Right.
He was doing like BP, right?
Right.
Or he's shagging balls, whatever, during BP. And I said, boy, if my gold pot, if my golden goose had a lat problem where he got pushed back a few days, and they were so concerned about it, they actually MRI'd him. I would try to avoid having him jumping full out extended in the air, trying to catch a line drive for fear that it might exacerbate an injury.
Right.
Okay. Lo and behold, Jacob deGrom comes out of his game a few innings early.
Yes.
Lo and behold, now this is the key here for all you knuckleheads who now think you're doctors and know the human body. And yes, I do know the difference between the right side and the left side.
Time out. Craig is telling you guys you think you're doctors. Now let's let Dr. Carton continue to diagose Jake. Go ahead.
All you medical experts out there that I like to say on Twitter, when all I did innocently was put out a photograph of deGrom jumping in the air saying, I'm sure this had nothing to do with the injury. When I first heard the injury, and maybe you heard differently, they said lower back. They did not say it was his side again.
Rojas said both, but he made it clear it's a different injury. Those are Rojas's words.
A different injury.
Correct. That's what he said.
So forgive me for suggesting that he possibly did something or tweaked something while jumping to catch a line drive at shortstop, and now he's out again.
Right.
And now it's another MRI.
I know that you have...
That to me is asinine.
I know that you have this love, this obsession.
For short ribs, yes, I have them right here.
Short ribs and being right. And I respect that.
Who doesn't like to be right?
But Jacob deGrom threw 5 innings on Sunday.
Yep.
Jacob deGrom was even laying down bunts and beating him out for hits. Jacob deGrom was swinging a bat. Jacob deGrom throws 101 miles an hour.
He's quite the athlete.
Okay, quite the athlete.
Yeah.
So now you think the thing that took him out of the game
possibly
wasn't any of that. Wasn't that. It was something that happened 48 hours earlier in which he's literally leaping to catch a line drive. So I want to get that straight. You think that's the bigger thing than throwing 101, swinging a bat, running the bases, laying down a bunt, 67 pitches. Let me get that straight. You think that's a bigger worry, right?
I certainly think it's a bad look.
Okay. Forget bad looks. Let's look at reality.
Yeah, let's look at reality.
The reality is, here's the critique of the New York Mets, and I'll make it. And I admit that I'm a hypocrite because I wanted to see Jacob deGrom pitch live. We all do.
First time you've been to the stadium when he pitched.
That's not true. It's the third time, actually.
This year?
Yeah, no, it's not the first time.
No, you missed the last 3 starts.
I saw the Saturday afternoon game against the Marlins, and I was at opening night in Philadelphia. So, no.
No, I said it's Citi Field.
Second time I've seen Jacob.
You've missed a lot of his starts.
I've missed 2. I've made 2.
You've actually seen more Yankee games in person than deGrom games
not
in person.
Not true. Seen 1 Yankee game in person, seen 3 Jacob deGrom starts.
Damn.
But whatever.
Don't let the facts get in the way. Just keep going.
Exactly. What they should have done, and I admit this, and they should do this now, is they got to be careful. That's all. Yeah. And look, if you want to take that as that includes not being a shortstop,
well, I'm going to ask
for line drives.
You know how I feel about it. Are you now in a spot, because you poo-pooed me on Friday, you and your brethren poo-pooed me all weekend on Twitter.
We did.
Are you now, as a Met fan, willing to say that it's probably in everyone's best interest that deGrom not take infield practice in between starts?
I think it's in his best interest to give him extra days of rest. That's what's in his best interest. Now, with that said, should Jacob deGrom still throw? Probably. Should Jacob deGrom still do the things he normally does in between starts? Sure. I'm not saying he should be completely shut down, but clearly throwing 101 miles an hour, which let's also admit, and I love the guy, it's not normal. Jacob deGrom is doing things on a mound that's not normal. Yeah. He's throwing more pitches 100 miles per hour or more than I think every other pitcher combined. Ridiculous stats like that. If I'm off a little bit, you get the point.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to be really, really careful. And you know what helps them be careful? They're in first place. And yeah, that matters. And they've got 2 off days this week. So what the Mets should probably do is put him on the injured list, Give him a week and a half.
Wow, put him on the injured list.
Yeah. It's only 10 days, Craig. I was about to call you Jake. Yeah.
Put him on the injured list.
They're 16 and 13.
There's
They've
no
won
way you
5.
could put him on the injured list.
I just said it, dude. I'll say it again.
Put him on the injured. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Mark that down.
Yeah.
Evan Roberts wants DeGrom to be on the injured list.
Because I gotta
Are we going
be
15 or 60?
No, it's only 10. That's
10?
the difference. We live in a new world. It's a 10-day
10,
injured list.
20, 30. What are we looking at here?
10 days.
Yeah.
And I would give him more rest because right now it's not worth risking it.
During those 10 days, can he field ground balls and dive for line drives and make the throw to first? Or are we stopping all baseball activity?
I think he should continue to do baseball activities.
He should.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I know they're off today. If tomorrow, because he's not pitching tomorrow.
He should do nothing.
No. If tomorrow he was out there because he's one of the guys, and listen, I know Mariano did it all the time too. I got all your emails. If he's out there tomorrow, fielding ground balls is short, you're going to say, no problem.
No, I think for the next few days, he should probably do nothing. Now, I'm not saying this as an expert or a doctor. What I'm saying it as is they should be more careful with him now. They're in a good spot. They're in a spot in which they can afford to be careful. They're 3 games above 500. They've got 2 off days this week, and Jacob deGrom matters too much.
Meanwhile, while the New York Mets are winning 5 in a row and putting their pitcher at risk and inventing rats and raccoons, the New York Yankees were playing small ball and winning games against the Washington Nationals in manners in which you would never think that this team would win games. Extra innings, small ball, singles.
The Saturday win.
Yeah, buddy.
The Saturday win was that kind of win that's on the highlight video. I like to say that if this season goes the way Yankee fans plan, you're thinking of Max Scherzer dominating you all day Saturday.
Well, other than the one home run, that's right.
And to Kyle Higashi, okay.
Right.
And that's typical of Max Scherzer, by the way. He dominates, he'll give up a home run or 2. It's a bottom line. That's Max Scherzer, and I'm not saying that to knock him. That's the reality. They get him out of the game. Davey Martinez says, all right, Max, 108 pitches.
That's enough.
And that was your moment to take advantage, which they did of Brad Hand, who, if I'm not mistaken, hadn't allowed a run yet this season.
And he was all over the place, too.
Yes.
Yeah, no control.
That was a gritty, gutty kind of comeback. And give credit to the bullpen. Give credit to Chad Green, to Lucas Litke. I mean, Chapman gave up a run, but it was that Fugazi extra inning rule.
Second, right?
Kluber pitched well into the 6th inning, and the Yankees are pitching well enough where when they win a game 4-3 in 11 innings, we're not going crazy about their offense. They gutted out a victory,
that
was a great win.
Huge series win for them because
changed everything.
The Scherzer game's over.
Dude, they're about to lose 3. Craig, they're about to have a 3-game losing streak.
I agree.
It's called like it is.
And they turn it around. They win both games. And listen, other than Aaron Judge being embarrassingly bad.
Yeah.
And they've won though. They beat the Astros. They won that series. They won this series. And Aaron Judge is giving you ugats.
To the point where I think Aaron Boone made a decision most people have to agree with, which is let me get him out of the lineup. Let me give him a rest day.
Yeah, he's been so bad. I mean, he's even swinging. Like, they couldn't find the plate, and Judge gets up, and what's he do? Swings at the first pitch.
Yeah.
Like, are you not paying attention?
He's going through one of those funks right now, man.
But they win, and like you always say, when you win, none of the crap matters.
Everything about this weekend for the Yankees changed in that 9th inning. Because think about it. You lose a really tough game to the Astros on Thursday. You lose a disgusting, ugly game on Friday with one of the worst innings of Yankee baseball you're going to ever see. You are
talking about that 8th inning.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're about to lose 3 in a row. That's the reality. And all of a sudden, all the good fortune of beating the Astros and sweeping the Tigers, it's about to be eliminated. And I thought that victory Saturday, the way it was, too, the guttiness of it, the grittiness of it, getting Scherzer out of the game, clutch hits. Gleyber Torres hits one about 7 feet. But guess what? It works. And then to follow it up with another good win yesterday, another walk-off victory, you feel good as a Yankee fan. What could have been uglier?
I will say this. I'm yelling at my screen when DJ doesn't score. I go, how do you not score? You're 3/4 of the way to third base when the little bloop dropped in, and you don't score on that?
Yeah.
You're going to make them get another hit?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, all of a sudden, Phil Nevin is Mr. Don't take a chance at third base. The guy sends everybody.
Right. When Stan got thrown at the plate 2 weeks ago, Nevin suddenly lost his will.
Maybe that's it. Because I thought for sure they were going to score.
That's related.
I could not believe for the life of me, bless you,
Thank you,
that LeMahieu's not running on that.
Dude,
and Soto doesn't have a good arm, and I think he even has arm trouble right now.
Not just that thing, Matt.
You've got to send him.
He's got a bad arm right now, and he's not coming in like on a crow hop throw. He's going to be throwing it flat-footed.
Yeah.
Because the way that ball
Right.
kind of dropped in. So he's got no momentum.
None.
DJ would have a full head of steam, and I'm yelling, "You dumb sons of bitches!" and I'm not even gambling.
No.
Right.
I couldn't imagine if you had money on that game, and you're sitting there going, "They didn't send him."
But I think
I
it
didn't
is
need
all
money.
related.
I walked right out of the room. When I saw him standing at third base, I just got up and
I think
walked
it
out of
is
the
all
room.
related, though, to some of the over-aggressiveness we've
I
seen
think the
from
Yeah,
him.
stand
maybe.
one for sure. You know, when
Maybe.
Judge got thrown
No
out
doubt.
of third, that was on Judge.
That's what I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the play
Yeah.
at the plate with Stanton.
Yeah.
But they won the series.
But and again, so here's what's interesting. So when they lose the game against the Astros and Glaber has that great heads-up play against the shift to score from first,
Right.
no one's going to talk about it.
Right.
Because they lost.
Right.
When they win the game against the Nationals,
Right.
no one's going to talk about the fact
Of course.
that LeMahieu didn't run.
Dude, I talk about this all the time. There are lost plays in baseball games that you
crazy.
forget about based on the outcome. If you win, you forget about the bad things. If you lose, you forget about the good things.
Well, we got lots cooking today. We even have, and I will put this out there with Evan. We are going to tell you today the single greatest lie ever told in the history of sport, and we will challenge you later today. I don't know what time we're going to get to it, but I'm going to tease it a lot because we're going to get to it. The single biggest lie ever told in the and, Evan, I want to be clear about this. In the history of sport, and challenge you to defy that statement. I'll say it again.
It's pretty big.
The single biggest lie ever told in the history.
At minimum, it's on the Mount Rushmore of lies told in sports
No,
history. At
it's-
minimum. At minimum, I just said. I'm not disputing you. I'm saying at minimum.
It's the biggest lie ever told in the history of
Who's
sport.
what? What's your question?
I'll say, of all the Mount Rushmore figures, who's the biggest one?
Like size-wise?
Like,
I mean,
who's
to
like-
me, George Washington.
So it's the GW of lies ever told in the history of sports, and maybe in the world, but certainly in this country. I can't speak like for cricket in India or soccer in London,
Right.
or your Australian rules football.
But in American sports, we
America.
have a lot of choices to go through here.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot.
This is the biggest lie ever told. It makes Pete Rose look like an innocent guy.
All right.
That's how big a lie this is.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear it. Oh, you know it. Wait till the audience hears it. It's nuts. I saw it. I go, come on.
When I saw it, I was cracking up.
What you talking about, Willis? Come on.
Oh, you gave it a what you talking about, Willis. That says a lot.
I gave it a what you talking about, Willis. I
That's
did.
something right there.
877-337-6666.